Is it any artist that you had that you said, you know what, I let that one get away?
Ludacris. Ludacris should be a so deaf artist.
He should have been.
100%.
So what happened? Welcome again to Audacy Check In. My name is DJ Buck Big Reg. We got a superstar in the building. My man Jermaine Dupri, man. Been doing it for a long time right now. Countless awards. #1 producer, hip hop, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm good. How you?
Still doing it, man.
Yeah. I mean, well, I have more reason now than ever to keep doing it.
Jermaine, how do you find the passion to keep doing this? You wake up every day and you're doing everything else. The nightlife is still alive. When you was in the strip club last night.
My voice is still in quarantine.
Where's the passion come from?
I mean, you know, to start in '92 and then be named the #1 producer hip hop R&B of the 21st century in 2025. That's all the energy I need. Like, I know what my work has done. It got me to that spot. So it's like I can't even think about stopping at this point.
During this run, highs and the lows, man, it can take a lot on you physically and mentally. How do you deal with some of the life problems mentally? How do you deal with those? And how do you cope with any kind of problems you have mentally?
I really don't like bother with anything else besides making music, you know. And I make sure that that's the first thing. Like, I was just telling somebody that about that. Like, my family even says that, like, he take music, his music is first in his life, like, over everything. So, I mean, I don't really bring the problems into the music world. I step outside of the music world and then there's some problems there or whatever, but I don't even pay no. I run right back in there as soon as I start.
Is it safe to say that? Is it safe to say that music can be your therapy?
Yeah, music 100% is my therapy. That's why in making this new album, that's what it was. It was almost like a therapy session with me working with different artists, talking to people and just having different conversations with different walks of people and young, old, mid, young, whatever. It was a therapy. That's why I enjoyed doing it so much.
Now, what made you want to do it? Like you said, dealing with a lot of egos, you know, people who sometimes they not on time, sometimes they don't show up. A lot of things. You don't have to make this album. You good with what you've done in your career. What made you say, you know what, I'm about to do this now?
Because that was like a point in time in my career where I realized that I used to think a lot of things had been done, and when I got into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, I realized that this is probably a 40 to 50-year-old establishment. And before and me entering in that Hall of Fame, I was the first of my type in 50 years, right? So I realized, like, what I thought prior hadn't exist. So a lot of this stuff is like, I'm just seeing like it's never been done before. So even with this album, I chose to make an album with nothing but Atlanta artists. That hadn't been done before. Not from a producer, just solely. I did the whole album by not by myself, but I did the album basically. I'm the producer. It's not nobody else producing records. I didn't take songs from nobody else. I actually sat in the studio and crafted these songs with each other, you know, with each person that I work with. That hadn't been done, not from the East Coast or West Coast as far as producers.
How important was it for you to just have Atlanta artists? Do you feel like Atlanta was going a different way?
Nah, I just thought that, like, you know, we have a city with a pool of artists that sometimes we overlook and be like, we only talk about 3 or 4 of these people, but we have like 20, 30, 40 artists in Atlanta that really have made a real contribution to hip hop. And it just felt like, sometimes it felt like we just ignore that, right? And I feel like if I ignore that, they're gonna ignore me. You know what I mean? You gotta lead by example.
How do you manage to keep your foot in one lane and another foot in the other lane, the jagged edge, that world, you know, the songs you produce with Mariah Carey, but also keep your foot in today's music?
You got to get out. You got to get out. You got to step in one world and you got to step out the other one. I'm definitely, when I go into R&B mode, I'm completely out of rap mode. I'm just listening to R&B records. I'm riding around listening to melodies. I'm thinking about melodies. I still feel like a rapper because that's just what I do. But for the most part, I know that if I'm gonna make R&B music to top the R&B records that I've made, I gotta get into R&B mode.
That's a lot because you got to top some big records. Jermaine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
so you still got that, still got that passion to compete with yourself. Is that
yeah,
is
nah,
that,
100%,
that part of what keep it going?
100%.
Like,
I mean,
gotta
it ain't
outdo.
even. It's not even about competing with myself. It's just like if you at the top of the food chain, which they claim I am at this point. How do you keep defending your title? I guess right. I got a title now, so I'm trying to defend my title. I can walk around with the belt now.
Somebody's gonna come and try to knock you out.
Of course,
You don't got to
Of
say
course.
that you're the number one no more. They said it already, so
Yeah.
now it's time for you to defend.
But yeah, but you still got to defend it, right? And you, like you said, it's gonna be some young guy that see me talking,
Right.
that see this, and he gonna be like,
And
know
they at
what?
home right now on
My
the MPC.
overall goal in life is to remove Jermaine Dupri from that number one spot. I know it.
The culture of hip hop in Atlanta, strip club. It for a while you went there to break records. You didn't necessarily go to the radio. You went to the strip clubs. How did that happen, and why did that happen?
It's a real in real time activity that happens in the strip club, and it's almost like a A&R meeting that you probably never been to, right? If you're an independent artist or you're an artist that's just trying to make it, and you never went into these offices and had to actually endure a A&R meeting, right, where you play a record and the people in the room, they give you their feedback or they look at you like, what the hell is that, or whatever it is. It's a real time thing that happens. This is an A&R meeting that you didn't even set up. You just play the music and you look around the club to see if it's somebody that reacts. And you might find that one person, or you might not find that right person. And then from there, you got to take that data to yourself and say, okay, I played this song in the club, didn't nobody even turn around and look like they wanted, I'm not putting this song out. Or somebody might Shazam and be like, they might try to Shazam the record and the song ain't out. And somebody might come up to the DJ booth and you standing right there and they might walk by and be like, yo, whose song was that? That's real time, data that people be talking about. That's what that is.
Well, these days you put it in the research.
Yeah.
that was a form of research.
Real
But when
research.
did you realize that was a form of research? Because normally when people in a strip club, they not really thinking about stuff.
Oh, it happened to me. I had a guy named Management who ran the game on me. Every time I went to the club, he paid the DJ to play his record, right? So every time I walked in the club or I was in the club, I heard this song. And after like the first 6 times, I start saying, yo, damn, they play this song. Like, why is this song always on when I'm coming
Only
in
when
this
you
club?
walk in.
And I was looking around, I'm like, so that one day, I decided to go to the DJ booth, right? I'm in the activity that I just told y'all about. The artist is sitting right there watching this. I'm going to the DJ booth, and I say, yo, whose song is this you keep playing? And he's like, he right there. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute. Am I inside the trick bag right now? What's happening? And I was in the trick bag.
It worked.
And it worked.
It worked.
Yeah, he saw that I recognized the song. I gave him a deal based on that song.
Ooh.
I still didn't realize I was in the trick bag before I gave him the deal.
That's crazy.
I actually was like, oh, this the artist. And I started talking to him like, yo, you dope, man. This song, they be playing it all the time. He probably was like, yeah. Right?
Yeah, it
So
cost me a lot.
I gave him a deal. And then once I started talking to him, he and I became cool. And he was like, man, JD, I used to pay blah, blah, blah.
Got
every
you.
time
Got you.
Every time you was in the club. And he said the DJ would call him and tell him, like, JD just walked in. He said, yo, play the song. And they had a whole little scheme going.
Wow.
And I took that. Like, I got caught up in it. Everybody gonna get caught up
Everybody
in
gets
it.
caught up in it.
That's the mindset.
If I got caught, everybody get caught.
Now, from that, the album, the docuseries, all from the strip clubs. You want to tell the story of the lifestyle.
Well, at first, I didn't have no music. I was just trying to be Jermaine Dupri, the entrepreneur, and make documentaries.
Right.
I did Freaknik last year.
Yeah.
And then
You scared the hell out of a lot of people with Freaknik,
Yeah,
too.
you did.
Yeah.
A lot of people like,
So during Freaknik, we showed Freaknik at South by Southwest, and then Cole Brown, who directed Magic City, he figured out a way for us to show Magic City the second day that I was at South by Southwest, it wasn't sold yet, but he figured out how to put it on the bill. And I think that the excitement from me being able to show 2 documentaries, and I was promoting it like, yeah, I'm Spike Lee, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to do that, I think that created this energy. And then once people saw it, and people were removed from just thinking it was about strippers, and they saw that it was a story about magic and how compelling his story is, Stars picked it up. And once they picked it up, I was like, oh, we on Stars, and I was excited about that. And I ain't really had no space yet for So Def, of like the new home of So Def, so I wasn't thinking about music. And then they kept pushing the date of when it was gonna come on, and that just merged into when I started looking for a home for So Def, and I signed my deal with Hybe. And the first thing I thought about was to do a soundtrack for this documentary.
Now, soundtracks, they haven't been a big thing like they used to be back in the day.
Word up.
So when you made this one, did you say, I'm gonna put that same energy into trying to make it like it used to be, like how it was? Because soundtracks sold bigger than some artists' albums back in the day.
Well, the crazy part about it is I thought I was being a genius by saying this, but Stars came back and said, we don't want to do no soundtrack. We don't do soundtracks for documentaries.
Wow.
Right? And that kind of broke my heart, because I'm like, damn, I thought I was coming up with something cool. And it's like, nah, it's a documentary. We don't do you don't see nobody doing soundtracks for documentaries. And I was like, that's why I want to do it, right? And they went with it. And so at that point, I was like, well, if they saying they not going to promote it as the soundtrack for the documentary, what I'm going to do? So then that's how it turned into a Jermaine Dupri album. Like, listen, I'm just going to take this on my own, and I'm going to say that this album is inspired by this Magic City documentary.
Okay. Yeah. Jermaine, tell me we're talking about soundtracks. Give me your top 3 soundtracks of all time.
Waiting to Excel.
Oh,
Immediately.
Oh.
Okay. Went to R&B. Okay.
Right there, yeah.
Murder Was the Case. That's the soundtrack, by the way. It was a movie.
Just the soundtrack.
Yeah, it was a movie. It was a
Not
movie.
the movie.
Minister Society soundtrack was hard. Like, had some good Tony and some
No Juice. No Above the Rim.
Above the Rim.
Above the Rim.
But I'll replace Above the Rim. I'll replace Murder Was the Case with Above the Rim. You're right. Yeah.
Jermaine, you tend to be on YouTube a lot, showing people how you put music together.
Yeah.
What made you decide to do that, to let people see how you work?
I don't even know.
You just turned the camera on and went to YouTube.
Yeah. I think that a lot of time, I think really what made me start doing that was like people questioning if I could do verses against people. But I've been doing that before verses was there. But I think that the more of it came from that, because I kept saying, like, y'all keep trying to pit me up against people that don't do what I do, right? Yeah. And I kept just trying to, like, make sure people understand, like, I be in here actually making beats. I don't know what the other people do, but I'm actually in here chopping beats, finding records. And I just realized, like, in that space, it wasn't nobody that my level that was even showing young people that's what we be doing.
Right.
So they have a real kind of like a messy mindset of what a producer actually is.
That's big.
You did one on your Instagram that I watched about 50 times, and you had a little rap to it, and at the end you just said, "Damn," and just walked off from it. I'm gonna find it before.
Oh no, I know what it is. I know what it is. It was that was on the Me and Currency album. That was the first verse. I wrote that verse live on right there with the Currency for the Currency album.
Magic City, the album is out right now. You can go pick that up. A lot of all Atlanta artists. You wouldn't found 2 Chainz. You found T.I. You found everybody.
You got the
do they pick up the phone on the first ring, or do you have people?
Of course.
Easy.
And I started with the King. You know what I mean? I had to start with T.I. I felt like it was important to me that if I started with the King, everybody else had to start running after that. And T.I. came, and he brought Dro, and we did like 3 songs the first night. And I felt like once I filmed that and I put it up and people saw that who else could tell me no after T.I. saying that? You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a lot of people I couldn't just get to because it was a lot of different schedules. But for the most part, I got everybody I wanted.
Is it any artist that you had that you said, you know what, I let that one get away?
Ludacris. Ludacris should be a so deaf artist.
He should have been?
100%.
So what happened?
One day went in the office and felt like I wasn't giving people that I had hired an opportunity to work. I was making all the decisions. I was choosing the artists. I was picking the singles. I'm doing everything what as a CEO is supposed to do. But I also was looking at Def Jam, and I'm watching all these other labels. They had A&R meetings, and they had people that was the A&Rs, and they was letting them really become stars, right? And I had Lil Jon as my A&R, and people was in my company, they were stars too, but I wasn't really like letting them spread their wings. And one day on my way to the office, I was just like, today I'm gonna have an A&R meeting, and I'm gonna let these guys tell me what we should do.
Okay.
And I went in there and I said, I want to sign Ludacris. And everybody in the meeting was like, no. And I was like, what? And they was like, nah, JD, he'll seem like he gonna, I don't know about that. That don't seem like that's gonna last long. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna listen to y'all guys. And that was the last time I listened.
Fired everybody after that.
And then Move Bitch came on the radio. Move Bitch came on the radio.
What's your fantasy drop? You said, you know what?
I just got to stick to
another meeting now.
What my gut feeling is. Yeah, I mean, I was just, but I mean, I feel like that's, like I said, that's an exercise that you have to do as a CEO. Cause I feel like that's what people be talking about with Jerry Jones. They be like he's trying to control the Cowboys too much himself, and he ain't allowing somebody else to do something that is a younger move, right? And
that's just what he doing.
and in that same exercise, he let the best defensive tight end get away and go to Green Bay, right?
You boy, you got me going right now.
I'm just saying that's basically an example of what I thought I was hearing from me. Yeah. I thought I heard people saying that in the whispers, like JD don't be reeling us, he don't be really letting us do what we got to do.
And we got to thank you for checking in with us at Audacy. One last question.
All right.
Is the culture of hip hop and R&B in good hands with the next generation?
If we make the right Division album, I think people are making, especially on R&B side. I feel like Mariah the Scientist got a good record. Kehlani got her first biggest record right now. Like I said, Division, me signing Division. In R&B, I think, yes. Hip hop, we got to fight. We got to figure it out. Yeah, we got to figure it out.
What is the biggest fight in hip hop right now?
Putting that pressure on somebody and that person running that ball and believing that they are, the same cockiness and swag that Biggie had, the same mentality that T.I. had, the same thing that Ludacris had. Like, you got to find an artist that's got that believes that's them. A lot of these artists are not confident enough to even do one song, much less carry the whole genre of hip hop.
Audacy Check In with Jermaine Dupri. Album's out right now. Go pick that up,
Magic City.
Magic City.
That's right.
And the wings
and
the wings at Magic City is magic too.
We go there for the wings.
Enjoy that video? See more interviews, more performances, and more of your favorite artists by subscribing and downloading the free Audacy app.